Good morning. I'm sitting here with Dave Whitcroft, one of the worship leaders at Orangefield Presbyterian Church on the Castlereagh Road running out of Belfast.
Hi there.
And I'm sitting here in his front room, and we're looking out over the Castlereagh Hills. Would it be the Castlereagh Hills?
It is indeed, yes, Tom.
Yeah. And this is Beans, his dog. And what variety of dog would this be?
It's one of those funky hybrids called a cockapoo. So
A cockapoo.
Bit of cocker spaniel, bit of poodle.
And he's called Beans because he's full of beans. But we're not here to talk about Beans, much as he maybe deserves it. We're coming here to talk about Dave and his release of a CD. This is your first CD, Dave?
Yes, I suppose so, yeah. Way back when I was a student or pre-marriage, I would have played in bands and we did recordings, but those were the days of tapes, really. So yeah, first CD.
Okay. Yeah. So the CD is called Sunshine for Rainy Days. And I'm just interested to hear how you have arrived at this point musically.
Sure. Well, in terms of the musical journey, I suppose as a kid, lots of singing in church. We had a very active kids choir. I was the kid that always did the Christmas solo, the first verse of "O Little Town of Bethlehem" as I processed, and we would have gone to singing lessons and competed in local fascias or musical festivals in Europe.
Right.
And so always lots of primary school plays and solos and that. So I suppose I didn't realise that, but I was probably a singer from an early age. I think
And your parents encouraged this?
Yeah. So not outstandingly musical, either of them, but interested. I have an aunt who's really musical, and played by ear, and that's very much my style. I'm not a very visual musician, so unfortunately, although I had lots of exposure to sheet music, I'm a bit of a disaster with it.
Right.
As lots of the guys around the church who are proper trained musicians will tell you, oh well, I am trained, I just never really got into the sight readings.
Okay. And was it the piano that you started out with first?
Yes, and probably would have continued with the piano, but I ended up going off to boarding school and there were no piano lessons going on there. So I really picked up an instrument again after going off to boarding school for a couple of years. I became a Christian at about 15 or 16, and it was very much a story of God, guitars and girls all arrived at the same time, which was fantastic, So lots of positive input. And I suppose then like a lot of teenagers, if you get into music, you get into it very quickly in your teen years and you make a lot of rapid progress then. So probably writing songs as soon as the Christian major Christian transformation occurred. I had a lot I wanted to talk about family, about faith, and wrote songs then, and I've been writing songs ever since. Probably it took a back seat when I got married and we had kids, and it was about investing in church life then and playing stuff for congregations. But there does come a point, Tom, where you want to tell your own story again, and all those songs that you've written and keep writing, they have to come out. Birds gotta fly,
Right, so Sunshine for Rainy Days by KD Music has come out, and we have plenty of rainy days in Northern Ireland.
We sure do.
Where does the title come from?
It's completely opportunistic. Sorry, it's not to plug the CD. It's just to show you the picture.
Yes.
That's off a miserable wall in Glasgow one summer a couple of years ago, and I just saw it on a side street and took a photograph of it. Somebody left their bike, and it was such a miserable summer, somebody drawn a sun on the wall and said it was sunshine for rainy days, and because there was no sun that summer. So that's simply it. I saw it and I thought, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. there's a lot of Christian music that's all sunshine, or there's a lot of Christian music that's all victorious and very serious about itself. So serious and victorious are not the only stories in this Christian experience and my life. So there are rainy days, and there's also pure joy. And so I wanted something that reflected the whole story, and so that's what that's about.
Right. And playing the CD through, there's quite a mixture. There's rock and there's jazz and there's classical.
Yeah.
So quite a variation of styles.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, what is it? Cabinet makers talk about their demonstration piece or something like that. When you're an apprentice and you want to qualify, you do the thing that shows all the range of skills you can produce. So this has all of that. I've got lots more songs in the locker and being written all the time, but this is the sort of full spectrum of styles that I can produce, and again, it's got a lot of the people that over the years I've wanted to play on it, some really good musicians. There are a lot of people who aren't on it who I wish could have had the opportunity, but there's nobody bad playing on this.
Would you like to give a few folks a bit of a name check there?
Yeah. There's a fantastic singer from Coleraine called Gillian Brown I sing with at a Christian festival during the summer. And I'd love to see her career really take off. I know she's at that family building stage. Ian Hanna, who's well known in Northern Ireland, and he's got a great range of styles as well. Loves jazz, and some of that comes out in the playing. There's a good friend, John Hegarty, who's exactly the same age as me. We're both born on 22nd of December, 67, and we've played in bands together over the years. And I would say he's probably one of the best lead guitarists I've not only played with but heard. Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who could have gone professional but for personal reasons haven't, and so a lot of these guys are right up there as players. Right. And a couple of session musicians who've chipped in as well. There's a great local guy called Rick Swan playing all the brass, right, all 16 parts, and Gwyneth Reid playing some beautiful cello too. So, right. And my daughter Sarah, of course, bringing in some.
How dare you forget about your daughter?
Well, we take our own family for granted, don't we? But she sings some lovely alto lines in it, so there are a lot of rich harmonies in it. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased, and it's produced by a local guy called Michael McCluskey at Zero Hour Studio in Coleraine, right, and that's a studio that's produced some Dove-nominated awards for Christian music and
right. So you say you've got a lot more songs in the locker, so to speak. Yeah. So maybe we'll see a follow-up?
Yeah. I'm not sure how well that would go down with my family. Because driving up and down to Coleraine and spending full days from maybe 10 in the morning through to midnight,
So it's not for the faint-hearted, this?
Not if you want to do it well, no. Right. We've done our best to do it as well as we can. So right, okay. And it's very, very well produced. Right. Yeah.
Right.
But no, there will be recordings, but maybe singles and EPs.
Right. And we've got 10 songs on here, yeah, and you have you wrote them in various places around the world.
Yeah. Where have we got there? What have you got?
Well, I've got one from Jamaica.
Yeah.
We've got one in Newry. We've got one in, I think it's Achill Island.
Yeah.
You were inspired, obviously, whenever you were at these places, and there's one in Africa as well. Or?
Yeah, that's the Christmas one, yes. Right. So, and we'll maybe look at these individually.
At another time.
Yeah, but wherever you are, there's
the muse comes upon you.
Yeah. If you're homesick, you write about what the Bible says about homesickness, that we're supposed to be homesick. If you're in sunny Africa, you write about how Christmas is very different in Africa. So it's not about the weather, it's not about the Christmas trees. And, right. Yeah, and if you're in the west of Ireland, where I've spent a lot of my youth, you write folk tunes, which is, the bittersweet of sad places. Right. Sad, beautiful places. So.
Right. This is for sale for how much?
I suppose if somebody wants to pick up the CD, they can go to my website, which is kdmusic.co.uk. We'll put a link in the bottom of several of these videos, and you can just stream it anywhere. I mean, some people like to buy to support an artist, which is great. It pays for more recordings. Some people like to stream, which I'm just glad they're listening. But we don't, you get half a penny, or one US cent for somebody to listen to one of your songs. So you could listen to a whole album like this for 10 cents or 5p, which
that's pretty good.
It's great for the listener, and it's great for us for the musician, because your music goes all over the world. But in terms of supporting music, it's not great.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to play us out with one of the tracks? One of your favourite tracks, or
great?
whatever?
Well, this is an old 27-year-old Loudon. Loudons are locally made guitars. They're beautiful handcrafted guitars. And this is a nice tone. This isn't actually off the album, but I will maybe look at the individual songs later. But
Right.
this is a new one. There you go.
Thanks very much, Dave.
You're welcome,
Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
And we'll just say cheerio to Beans as well.
Bye.
Beans is
So,
chilling out.